Lauren London used to sing backgrounds for me back in the day. And she fell in love with my keyboard player. His name is Omar Edwards. Omar went on to play for Jay-Z after me, after leaving my band. Omar Edwards got Lauren London on to American Idol, which put her in position to meet Nipsey, and then she dumped Omar, who loved her madly.
Back in the day, Lauren London was reportedly doing background vocals for a music project where she became romantically involved with the band's keyboard player, Omar Edwards. Omar later left that group and went on to work with Jay-Z, further elevating his career. According to long-circulating claims, it was Omar who helped Lauren land opportunities that eventually led her toward platforms like American Idol, which some believe placed her in the same circles where she would later meet Nipsey Hussle. Not long after, the relationship with Omar ended, despite reports that he was deeply invested in her. For years, Jaguar Wright has publicly shared a belief that Lauren's entry into Nipsey Hussle's life may have followed a familiar industry pattern, one she has compared to other controversial relationships from music history. Recently, those comments have resurfaced and gained traction online, especially as renewed conversations surrounding Nipsey's tragic death continue to spread. While none of these claims have been verified, the volume of discussion has only grown louder. The speculation intensified further after the release of 50 Cent's latest documentary. Some viewers insist that subtle hints would drop suggesting unresolved tensions behind the scenes involving Nipsey's longtime partner and the mother of his child, Lauren London. Although nothing is directly stated or confirmed, social media users have been actively dissecting the footage, convinced there's more being implied than said. Jaguar Wright and Wack 100 are not the only figures whose past comments are being revisited. Both have previously mentioned Lauren while questioning why her name repeatedly appears in major industry controversies. Online chatter has also linked her name to broader discussions surrounding the Diddy case, though those connections have received comparatively little mainstream attention. Wack 100 has also claimed that Lauren and Cassie were once close and questioned why, after several years together, Nipsey never publicly spoke about marriage or proposed. Again, these remarks remain opinion-based and speculative, with no supporting evidence. In past interviews, Lauren London has spoken emotionally about Nipsey, saying that no one could ever replace him. While her words resonated deeply with fans, critics continue to circulate unproven theories about her alleged industry ties, keeping her name at the center of controversy. Wack 100 has further alleged that Cassie, who previously acknowledged assisting with private events connected to Diddy, may have introduced Lauren to that same elite social circle. As with much of the discourse online, none of these claims have been substantiated, but they continue to fuel intense debate across social platforms.
To let people know he was hitting Nip baby mama. You see it's coming out. Because, you know, Cassie and her was best friends. So when a playing like the way Diddy playing, this is real shit. Diddy told Cassie, make that happen with Laura, it wasn't going to happen.
He alleged that Cassie's role went far beyond quiet assistance behind the scenes. According to his account, she was actively inviting celebrities, models, and influential industry figures to attend exclusive, invite-only gatherings. That revelation alone sparked widespread reaction online. Social media users quickly began drawing parallels to what Diddy is accused of doing years later with Young Miami, placing her in a position of visibility and influence, while encouraging her to bring along her own circle of friends, artists, and models to private events. In those online conversations, names like Saucy Santana have also been mentioned, adding fuel to the speculation. Although there is no concrete evidence supporting any of these theories, the discussion itself has been enough to keep timelines flooded with debate, breakdowns, and competing interpretations. The conversation intensified even further after claims surfaced from Diddy's former producer, Rodney Lil Rod Jones. He suggested the alleged behavior wasn't confined to one location, but instead involved constant movement between major cities such as Miami, Los Angeles, and New York whenever specific arrangements were requested. Rodney has publicly stated that he felt exploited during that time, claiming he was owed compensation and subjected to situations he described as uncomfortable and inappropriate within those work environments. He also hinted that Young Miami's involvement with Diddy may have extended beyond what was visible to the public, alleging that she was motivated to maintain her proximity and influence, even if it meant navigating complex and personal circumstances. As with much of the surrounding chatter, none of these claims have been proven, but they continue to dominate online discussions and keep the controversy alive. He suggested that her involvement with Diddy went far beyond his other rumored relationships, implying that Young Miami occupied a more serious and complex role. According to those claims, tensions quietly existed between her and others within Diddy's inner circle for reasons that were never clearly explained, adding even more instability to an already messy situation. What stood out to many observers was how openly Diddy presented Young Miami to the public. Unlike past connections kept discreet, she was showcased proudly, receiving visible attention that made people believe she held a unique status compared to other women.
I can't say it.
You got to.
It says take a shower if you like golden showers. I do.
Golden showers, meaning when the guy pees on you, pee on you everywhere. You like it?
It's fun.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when you drunk and you just...
And they just peeing all over you.
Around him, she was often described online as focused, strategic, and highly aware of how the industry operates. Rumors also painted her as unusually loyal, with some alleging she assisted Diddy behind the scenes with sensitive personal matters connected to those exclusive gatherings that continue to fuel speculation. Online discussions claimed her role may have included coordinating guest lists, facilitating invitations, helping organize events, and ensuring everything unfolded according to specific instructions being given at the time. Once again, none of these claims have been verified. However, the repeated stories have created an image of someone whose involvement may have extended beyond romance into operational territory, possibly explaining why her name consistently resurfaces whenever these conversations reappear. Building on that same line of speculation, some critics online began questioning whether Nipsey Hussle's longtime partner, Lauren London, may also have had indirect exposure to Diddy's private circle. Diddy's former assistant, Capricorn Clark, was reportedly referenced in connection with a recent lawsuit where Lauren's name allegedly came up, not as someone accused of wrongdoing, but as someone said to have been present during certain situations. According to those claims, Lauren may have been aware of aspects of what was happening during some of those events. Clark was said to have described environments where individuals moved between rooms, followed directions, and maintained a specific flow throughout the night. In one account circulating online, she allegedly stated that Lauren London was present while others carried out instructions involving Cassie and additional staff. That story spread rapidly, intensifying the already tangled web of rumors surrounding Diddy's world. These alleged statements have been dissected endlessly online, with people trying to piece together who may have known what and when. One of the most debated questions centers on whether Lauren might have been aware that Cassie was under pressure during her relationship with Diddy, and whether she chose to remain silent. None of this has been proven or confirmed. Still, the non-stop speculation continues to circulate at high speed across social platforms. Separately, fans have long questioned why Nipsey maintained certain business ties connected to Diddy's circle, especially given his reputation for independence, ownership, and self-determination. To many, that contradiction adds another layer of discomfort to the situation. Adding further tension, Diddy's former bodyguard Gene Deal also spoke publicly, claiming that Diddy allegedly attempted to exert influence over Nipsey's movements and business decisions. That suggestion alone caused many to reevaluate the dynamics at play, wondering how deep that control may have gone and what impact it truly had.
You think it was a good idea for Nipsey to be cool with Diddy?
I really can't speak on what and the reason why that man would, when he was already doing a great job himself with the team that he had. But somebody convinced him that that would be a good look for him. But, no disrespect, he got what he asked for.
As Victory Lap dominated the charts and Nipsey Hussle's influence continued to grow, rumors began circulating that he was deliberately distancing himself from certain industry spaces in order to operate fully on his own terms. According to quiet chatter within music circles, that shift is when things allegedly took a darker turn. Some critics have long accused Diddy of maintaining control in the industry by leveraging power, pressure, or influence, either forcing people into compliance or pushing them aside when they no longer serve a purpose. These claims remain allegations, but they continue to resurface in online discussions. That line of thinking led some commentators to draw comparisons between Faith Evans and Lauren London. In those conversations, people argue there are parallels, both described as artists or creatives struggling to gain traction, who later became connected to powerful figures. In the most cynical interpretations shared online, critics claimed these women were positioned beside influential men whose deaths ultimately left them financially secure. These opinions are not based on evidence, but they are frequently repeated in speculative spaces. Some online voices believe that the moment Nipsey fully leaned into independence, the atmosphere around him changed. That's where many say the narrative becomes more complex. Officially, law enforcement has maintained that Eric Holder acted alone, stating the incident stemmed from a confrontation in which Nipsey allegedly accused him of cooperating with authorities. That explanation remains the only confirmed account. Still, years later, online communities continue searching for unanswered questions surrounding a tragedy that never left public consciousness. For a long time, attention has also been directed toward Big U, a figure who previously appeared to have tension with Nipsey. Some fans questioned whether he may have had indirect involvement, particularly because his whereabouts on the day of the shooting were unclear, and his explanations reportedly changed multiple times, details that immediately raised suspicion among observers. The situation became even more unsettling when reports surfaced that Nipsey had recently declined to renew an older contract connected to Big U's label. That revelation led fans to speculate about unresolved issues between the two. When Nipsey's funeral took place, many were surprised that Big U did not attend, which only added to the growing unease. Public reaction escalated further after a live-stream moment in which Big U appeared to laugh in response to a comment calling for justice for Nipsey. That brief exchange sent shockwaves across social media, turning long-standing whispers into widespread accusations and intensifying debate across platforms. None of these theories have been proven, but the unanswered questions, shifting narratives, and emotional weight of the loss continue to fuel speculation that refuses to fade.
Is that Diddy has had a long career of using to trap into making them do what he wants to do or using them to move them out the way. How is Faith Evans any different than Lauren London? How? No difference at all. Struggling artists trying to make their way up, not getting the break that they needed. All of a sudden they stand next to the right guy and then now you know that guy is dead and they're okay for life.
Several months later, the situation flared up once again when Loose Cannon appeared on the No Jumper podcast and made what he described as a shocking revelation. He alleged that Big U personally contacted him and claimed Nipsey Hussle had been killed nearly half an hour before the shooting was officially reported. The clip spread rapidly online, stunning fans nationwide. Big U quickly responded, making it clear he was furious about the accusation and strongly denied it. Rather than fading away, the controversy intensified. According to reports, Big U's legal team then issued a cease-and-desist letter to Adam22, the founder of No Jumper, demanding the episode be removed immediately. But that legal action only seemed to amplify public suspicion. Instead of shutting down the conversation, it drew even more attention, as many online viewers interpreted the involvement of attorneys as a sign that there was more beneath the surface. Once again, none of the claims have been verified, but the moment added yet another chapter to a story that continues to ignite debate and unanswered questions across social media.
Wait, what you waiting on though? You don't know what you waiting on though. What you waiting on? You got to tell me what you waiting on.
Justice for them.
In there like, yeah. On my mama, bro, I swear to God, everybody that was doing this shit.
You did. You did.
After that, the buzz in the streets only grew louder. Questions multiplied, and new voices started jumping into the conversation. That's when Charleston White entered the debate, claiming he knew the real reason Nipsey was allegedly targeted. According to his version of events, Nipsey had stopped paying what he referred to as street obligations connected to Big U, and from that point on, things allegedly began to unravel. This theory isn't new. It's been circulating for years, but it resurfaces regularly, each time reignited by someone repeating the same accusations. Recently, the discussion took an even messier turn. Online chatter began suggesting that Big U might not be the only powerful name tied to the situation. Some commenters started pulling Diddy into the narrative, while speculation tied to 50 Cent's recent project once again brought attention back to Lauren London and her alleged proximity to Diddy's circle. None of these claims have been supported by evidence. Still, the fact that the same high-profile figures keep appearing in overlapping conversations has pushed fans, bloggers, and commentators to dig deeper. The demand for clarity keeps growing, and the tone of the discussion becomes more intense with each passing week. Now, the focus has shifted in a major way. People aren't only asking who carried out the act anymore, they're asking who benefited afterward. That question has made many uncomfortable because it touches on money, influence, and legacy. Industry watchers have pointed out that Nipsey's brand, catalog, and cultural impact surged dramatically after his passing, and that rise in attention and value continues to fuel debate. Behind the scenes, conversations about ownership, leverage, and power dynamics have intensified. Fans are questioning how certain individuals appeared to gain more freedom, control, or influence once Nipsey was no longer here. And time again, those questions seem to circle back to the same small group of influential names. What keeps these theories alive is how people from entirely different corners of the culture, former associates, media personalities, and insiders, seem to hint at similar things without ever appearing coordinated. Subtle remarks about pressure, quiet negotiations, and unseen power plays have led many to believe there's more beneath the surface than what was officially presented. Nothing has been proven, and all of it remains speculative. Still, the public continues watching closely, analyzing old interviews, resurfaced clips, and every new comment like pieces of a puzzle. With each new detail, the story feels more layered than it initially appeared. Lately, attention has shifted to what isn't being said. Observers have noticed how certain industry figures went silent almost overnight, avoiding interviews or suddenly changing their tone whenever Nipsey's name comes up. That silence alone has raised eyebrows and fueled even more suspicion. Some insiders have claimed that immediately after the tragedy, there were private conversations, discreet meetings, and behind-the-scenes efforts to manage narratives. Stories refined, timelines adjusted, and details softened. The idea that powerful figures could influence public perception has left many questioning whether the full truth was ever meant to be revealed. Others argue fear plays a major role. Speaking out against powerful industry figures can end careers instantly, and some believe silence wasn't chosen out of loyalty, but survival. In an industry like this, staying quiet can sometimes feel safer than telling the truth. Again, none of this has been confirmed, but the recurring patterns have left many uneasy, and the longer the unanswered questions linger, the more it feels like something is missing. Online reactions remain deeply divided. Some defend the official narrative, while others are convinced there's more beneath the surface. One comment that gained traction asked whether certain connections were formed intentionally as a way to maintain control rather than coincidence. Another pointed to Lauren's transition from modeling into music-related spaces, her continued presence in industry circles, and alleged overlaps involving Capricorn Clark, Diddy, and Cassie, arguing that none of it felt accidental. Then the discussion escalated further when more extreme opinions surfaced, accusing Lauren of playing an active role in events tied to Diddy and Nipsey. Those statements are opinions, not facts, but they highlight just how emotional and polarized the conversation has become. Everyone seems to be searching for answers, and every new theory adds fuel to an already raging fire. Now, the question turns to you. Do you think there's any possibility that Lauren had undisclosed ties to Diddy while Nipsey was still alive? Or do you believe these claims go too far, turning coincidences into conspiracies? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We're reading them all. And before you go, make sure to like, subscribe, share, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next, because this story is far from over.
The feds, when they did come, they only wanted one thing, and I feel like this will be of special interest to you. They wanted the cease and desist from Big U in regards to Loose Cannon's first appearance on No Jumper, in which Loose basically implicated Big U in the murder of the late, great Nipsey Hussle.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. And did you give them the cease and desist?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Well, there you have.
After that, the streets started buzzing even louder with questions, and that's when Charleston White jumped into the mix, claiming he knew exactly why a hit was allegedly placed on Nipsey. According to his version, Nipsey had stopped paying what were called street dues to Big U, and that's when things started going sideways. This story has been floating around for years, but every few months it pops right back up with new voices echoing the same claims, keeping the tension alive. Then it got even messier. Recent online chatter claims that it's not just Big U being mentioned anymore. Some sources now allege that Diddy's name might also be tied into the situation somehow. On top of that, according to speculation sparked by 50 Cent's project, people are once again questioning Lauren London's alleged connection to Diddy. None of these claims have been proven, but the fact that so many major names keep getting pulled into the same circle is having fans and bloggers digging deeper every single day. The pressure for real answers is building fast, and the conversations are getting more intense by the week.
Now, the focus has shifted in a big way. People online aren't just asking who pulled the trigger anymore. They're asking who actually benefited afterwards. That's the question that's making everyone uncomfortable because it touches on money, power, and legacy. Many in the industry have pointed out that Nipsey's name, music, and influence skyrocketed after his passing, and that sudden explosion of attention and wealth is exactly what's keeping this story alive, fueling endless debates that refuse to die down. Ownership, influence, and power moves have been shifting fast behind the scenes, and that's exactly what's got people talking. Fans and insiders alike are asking how certain figures gained more control, freedom, or leverage once Nipsey was gone, and those same questions keep circling back to a handful of powerful names. What really keeps these rumors alive is how voices from totally different corners of the culture seem to be hinting at the same things, all without ever appearing to coordinate. From old associates to media insiders, everyone seems to drop subtle hints about pressure, silent power plays, and quiet deals that don't sit right. None of this has been confirmed, and it all remains pure speculation, but the streets are locked in, watching every move, every interview, and every resurfaced clip like detectives piecing together a bigger picture. Each new detail only makes the story feel deeper and more layered than what the public might have been told at first. Now, attention is turned toward the silence because sometimes what isn't said speaks louder than any statement. People have noticed how certain industry figures went quiet almost overnight, dodging interviews or changing their tone completely whenever Nipsey's name was mentioned. That kind of sudden silence has everyone wondering what's really going on. Some insiders even claim that right after the tragedy, there were private meetings, quiet phone calls, and a wave of behind-the-scenes damage control, with stories being adjusted and timelines cleaned up. The thought that powerful people could help shape the public narrative has fans questioning whether the full truth was ever meant to come out at all. At the same time, others believe fear plays a major role because speaking out against the biggest names in the industry can end careers in a heartbeat. That's why many say some witnesses might have chosen silence not out of loyalty, but out of pure self-preservation, because in this game, staying quiet can sometimes feel safer than being right. None of this has ever been confirmed, but the pattern has people uneasy, and the longer the silence drags on, the more it feels like there's still a missing piece the public hasn't been shown yet. Online conversations are blowing up again, with reactions split right down the middle, some defending, others convinced there's more to the story. One viewer commented, "Lauren isn't innocent. Did he put them together just to control him?" That single question sent social media spinning because it hinted at possible manipulation instead of coincidence. Another person pointed out that Lauren moved from modeling into music videos and kept close ties within certain industry circles, even noting that Capricorn Clark reportedly knows Diddy and that Lauren and Cassie were friends. To them, none of that seemed random at all. Then things really heated up when another comment went all in, saying, "No, Lauren was part of it. Her and Diddy were tight as thieves. Diddy used her to get to Nipsey." Those are strong opinions, not verified facts, but they show exactly how emotional and divided this entire conversation has become. everyone's searching for answers, and every theory adds another spark to the fire. But now, we want to hear from you. Do you think there could be any truth behind the idea that Lauren may have had private connections with Diddy while Nipsey was still alive? Or do you think these claims are reaching way too far and twisting coincidences into conspiracies? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. We're reading all of them. And before you dip out, don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one, because what's coming next is just as wild and you won't want to miss it.